Dear learners, in today's this lecture, you should be able to learn about the organization of information technology for collection and generation of specific information, and also you should be able to learn about the application of information and technology in the area of tourism. So firstly, I'll give you a very brief introduction about what is information technology, and just a very brief about how it is related to tourism industry as a whole. Tourism management focus on material, natural, financial, and human potentials without realizing the importance of information as a sector of economic value. Information has now become one of the most important links between producers and consumers of tourism services. Especially if we take the scenario of the present times, it is only because of the information technology that we are able to work, especially in the scenario or in the times of corona. It is only because of the information technology that we are able to survive and work. Undoubtedly, information technology, we deny it or we accept it, it is only because of the information technology that today the tourism industry is actually working. Information technologies have had a considerable impact on the tourism industry. System of information technologies affect various components of the tourism systems, like the delivery of tourism services, management of tourism, marketing of tourism products, and producer and or consumer relationships also they work on with the help of tourism industry. So in this lecture, I will actually talk about the role of information and technology in tourism and the managerial tasks which are involved in it. So I'll start with the various managerial roles. Generally, one when deals with management, the emphasis is on human resource development, finance, or marketing, right? But however, with the technological revolution, with the management and application of technology has a direct bearing on the success of any enterprise. For example, in case of holding conventions, today fax, computers, Xerox, emails, etc., they are inbuilt in the product. You cannot actually ignore them. Hence, it is essential for both managers as well as entrepreneurs in tourism to take note of what is termed as management of technology. And for that, certain steps can be taken in this regard. So the first one is upgrade your knowledge in relation to information systems and new technology. Let us take an example here. Like during COVID-19 times, teachers did not know the use of Zoom or Google Meet platforms for teaching. But see how the teachers, they have very efficiently learned the technology. And so much so, now it seems that through these platforms, they can teach better because of the created links which they can reflect through the mode of teaching. Another example is webinars. Earlier we all used to attend the various conferences and seminars in person. But because of this pandemic, all these conferences and webinars, they're held online, and we all are attending them, right? So even those who didn't know the usage of internet, even those people who didn't know the term of Zoom, today is very effectively and very efficiently use this term Zoom or Google Meet platforms or various other platforms as well. So now what is this? This is we have, as the consumers, we have upgraded our knowledge. So exactly in the similar way, in tourism also, one needs to upgrade the knowledge in relation to the tourism systems and new. So exactly in the similar way, the tourism professionals and the tourism providers, they should also upgrade the knowledge in relation to information systems and new technology. So here I want to point out is that one needs to upgrade one knowledge, and more specific in case of information systems. uh, why? Because the information technology is changing at a very fast speed, and one needs to upgrade, or one needs to come to the level of it very fastly. The second is analyze their merits and demerits in relation to your own enterprise. Again, this is a very important point. There are so many platforms in IT also, and we need to really think of as to which platform is suitable for us or not. To make it easy for you all, I'll again give it the example of teachers. The teachers, they had many platforms to teach. Once they had to start teaching online, so they had with them like Google Meet, Zoom meetings, and now so many ERPs have also come up, right? But before taking the classes, the teachers had to evaluate the merits and demerits of each of these platforms, and obviously select the most suitable one as far as they are concerned. So this is exactly what it is about. So it is after the assessment that what you should be go for, adapting the organization's policies in relation to the information and technology. You should have trained and qualified people also with you to use this technology. Once we know that what ERP we will use, we need to have the proper and trained staff or the qualified staff to use, because whatever mode we use, it is ultimately the people who have to use it, right? So the properly trained manpower is another step which is required for the efficient use of the information technology. And to ensure that the information and technology is used in a productive way, and it functions effectively, now next is the proper and efficient use of it, that we are using it properly. It becomes very challenges as far as it is concerned, because the technological component is also there. Even in the current times, in the times of such technological advancements, we have many times we come there is an internet breakup, right? So breakdown is there, or usage of the information technology is also important, how we use it. So it's important maintenance contracts, or the technology that we are using, its maintenance is the proper usage is required. Lastly, and the most important, is that we have to create such an environment where people they adapt themselves through technology, accept innovation as normal, and do not resist the induction and use of technology. This is also very important. Now, role of information in tourism. Information is a very vital element of any organization or any system or any industry. But tourism industry, as a matter of fact, it requires large amount of information because of various reasons, or on various areas also it requires a lot of information. The role of information in tourism is vital to everyone. For example, a tourist guide, he requires the information about historical and cultural backdrop of the place. A tour operator, if we talk about him, he requires information on the transportation, reservations, accommodations, the marketing, and so on. tourist requires the information about the destination where he is going, and so on and so forth. Similarly, as a manager in any segment of tourism industry, he has to know about the whole spectrum of information along with the use of information technology. So he has to have the detailed information, and not only the information, but also he should have the knowledge of the how to use the information technology and telecommunications for speed and accuracy in handling the tourism operations. So besides this, the role of information, more variety or change, it becomes important. If a tourist is taking a route trip, right, he's taking a routine trip, some variety might be desirable through a change in the route or the side trips. And to inform potential travelers about attractions and the availability of information to them, many tourism enterprises, they provide information in newspapers, magazines, cable TV or internet. But today, for example, if we have to have the information about a destination, so we need the Facebook. We have to access the Facebook. We can check the websites also, and so much so, if we open our emails, many a times we see the advertisements about destinations there also. So all these are properly all these things, they are possible. This type of marketing is only possible through IT or information technology. Not only this, people from all across the world can be in touch with the different service providers, and this is only possible today because of the information. All the information, it can be accessed from anywhere or from by anyone. Now, information management. What is information management? Now, information management is an area where one has to study how to collect information from various sources, such as printed or non-printed. The collected information is to be systematically processed, keeping in view the user requirements, and the processed information then can be printed as the information product. The information collection. Now, this information which has been collected, or this information which has been handled, and the information which has been generated, it forms part of information management. Now, how the information data is collected. As manager in tourism, one must know the difference between data and information first of all. So the difference between data and information is that the data is raw and unanalyzed numbers and facts, while as information is that data which has been organized and analyzed in a meaningful way. Information gathering or collection of data related to tourism involve lot of interaction with various agencies. For example, in organizing a tour program, and requires data related to places, routes, weather, food, accommodation, transport facilities, attractions, etc. All such data have to be obtained from respective sources like places, route information through historical data related to the area, tourist department of that area. Accommodation information can be obtained from the hotels from of that area, or the other information can be obtained from tourist local offices, etc. So this information so collected would then be arranged in a systematic way, and here it must be noted that the information supplying system are necessary to support managerial functions of planning, organizing, leading and monitoring. Now the next is information generation. In tourism, when you are getting a lot of information from various sources and also collecting a lot of information locally, the information has or information base can be used to generate or produce literature specific to the needs of the organization. For example, a brochure containing information on accommodation, food, weather, facilities, and attractions may be created, or a pamphlet can be developed giving details about the visiting places, ethnic background, handicrafts, etc. So this becomes a database containing destination data. And then to the CDs or the various ways can be created through which the one may generate the visitor information system so as to boost the tourist business locally and nationally, and now even internationally. Information handling. Once the data is collected on the sheets or as printed leaflets, it has to be organized and analyzed properly so as to get piece of information easily, right? For example, each tour program requires specific organization of information under different heads so that a tour group or an individual will find the required information. The various access points to the information and its storage and retrieval can be done using computer with speed and accuracy. Now, dear learners, what is information handling? Whatever information that we are gathering is to be handled properly. This is a very, very important aspect. Normally, we get the data and we convert it into information, but then we do not handle this information properly, right? We do not give this information in a proper sequence or in a proper way. So what happens is that this whole information becomes useless. So now what happens is that once the data is collected on the sheets or as a printed leaflet, the data has to be properly organized and analyzed. Now, how do we do that? I'll give you an example here. How do we do this? How do we handle the information? Now we collect the data, we sort it, and now this information, for example, in tourism, we get the information about the destination, the various sites. We get the information about the weather of that destination. We get the information about the hotels at the destination. We get the information about the transportation at that particular destination. Now we have to present that information in a proper way. So what do? We make the tour program and we give the specific information under specific heads. We make different heads. Now, how does it help? It helps that a tour group or an individual, it becomes easier for them to find the required information. For example, if an individual is trying to find the accommodation, so under that head he will be able to understand, or he will be able to find that there are 5-star hotels, there are 4-star hotels, there are 3-star hotels, and that information access becomes easier for the person who is using. And the various access points to the information and its storage and retrieval, it can be done using computer also, right? Because today we know that it is the era of information technology, and once we're giving the information under specific heads, so it becomes easier for the tourists to get the information. More importantly, it helps in the time management of that particular information, right? Whatever information I want to have, so I have the access to the information at just a click of a button in my hand, and I don't have to spend lot of time, and so it helps in my time management. If the tourist information required by the tourist is not available on the local computer, so latest available information. So nowadays everything is on internet. even we have the information access from they're related to one computer to another, so all the information handling has to be properly been done on the computers. And the tourist, it should be actually user friendly. The information handling should be user friendly. It should be easier for the users or for the tourists to get the information. Otherwise, whatever information we have collected will not be of any use. I'm repeating this again and again because this is very important. Dear learners, if the information has to be properly, if you want that your information should be properly being accessed by the tourists, or on whatever portal or whatever arena you want to give it. So and I've told you, I've given you the benefits also. For that, it becomes easier for the tourists to get the access of that information. So in fact, for every component of the tourism industry, information handling is vital for operations. For example, if we are putting the information on our computers or on our website, so in tourism industry, what happens is that sometimes the information is very personal also. And because today we put all the information on our computers, so the personal information, it should be intact in the personal content of the tourist. It should not be on the online platforms. And the people who are using this information, or who are taking the access of this information, they should know how the importance of this information, the personal information of the tourist, and the handling of this is again important. This is the another aspect of the information handling. Okay, this is a very, very important managerial task, that is the handling up of the information. Like we have the information, we need to check the relevance, accuracy, quality, quantity, and its timeliness also. It's not that we are just putting whatever information is there in our hands, so we're just putting that information on our IT platform. But then we need to, before putting it on our IT platform, we need to understand, or we need to check the relevance of it. We also need to check the accuracy of it. The quality of information should be good, because of the, again I'll say, because of the online platforms now, the information have the access by all. So whatever information we put in, we have the responsibility of putting in the right type of information, vis-a-vis its relevance is concerned, vis-a-vis its accuracy is concerned, the quality of the information, the quantity, and also the time when we are putting this information. Also, we also need to understand the organization needs, which are planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. So this is all the information analysis, right? So we need to have the right analysis of the information at the right track, at the right system. So dear learners, in this lecture you have understood the organization of information technology for collection and generation of specific information, and also you have learned about the application of information and technology in the area of tourism. Thank you.